Dreamt about seeing a rush of expensive vehicles driving to many different buildings. One black luxury car arrived at a building that appeared outwardly run down and dilapidated. But inside it, there was pleasurable things and security for those who belonged to the upper echelon of the super rich. Outside the building, the sky had turned completely black. Suddenly a loud eruption of chaos flooded the walls outside. There were screams, car crashes, just about everything sounded like absolute mayhem. And soon, the dream ended. Dreamt about the sky turning darker than black. I was driving a car in the pitch darkness and came to a crashing halt. I crawled out into the streets as cars raced past me in pure darkness. An endless barrage of car crashes erupted non-stop around me. I made my way out of the streets and arrived at a hospital that was empty except for a nurse and a doctor with 2 patients. The patients had blood-stained bandages wrapped around their faces and what appeared to be many skin sores. I tried to talk to the nurse, but she passed me without making eye contact. The woman had just performed a promiscuous act with her mouth in another room, and now she was in the middle of leaving the building with important medical supplies in tow. The doctor was now the last one there. I asked him what was wrong with the patient because the disease the patients had looked as if it were an old terrible plague of some kind. It has something to do with the first generation COVID. There's something in their blood. We can't save them, he had told me. I left the hospital and met my brother in the parking lot. I got into his car and we drove off into the pitch darkness. Power substations sparked brightly in flames from far away. He said, "This looks like it's it." And I replied, "If not, the first day of the end." And soon, the dream ended. Dreamt about absolute darkness. People carried their impossible belongings out of the urban places and sought refuge in wooded areas. Never-ending screams were heard in the pitch darkness, along with the loud monstrous howls, growls and shrieks. Something vicious was out there, and people were trying to escape what was coming to attack them. However, there was nowhere for them to go. Every road before them was an endless road of terrifying darkness and uncertainty. Many abandoned their luggage, some were even abandoned by each other. And soon, the dream ended. Matthew 24:29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Isaiah 13:10. For the stars of heaven and their constellations will not give their light, the sun will be darkened in its going forth, and the moon will not cause its light to shine. Revelation 6:12-14. I looked when he opened the 6th seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place.